Hey there, this is a quick video. Hopefully you can hear me with some traffic noise. This is a 2013 Sonata Hybrid Limited edition. Just to show you what I've got going on here, some testing I have going on. It had the stock old 12-volt battery here, which was a starting battery, completely unnecessary for this vehicle. You do not need the hundreds of cranking amp hours that you have with the traditional starting battery. So hopefully hoping to increase mileage and play with some battery stuff. I have two deep cycle interstate batteries in, I don't have the part numbers here. These are two interstate deep cycle batteries meant for as traction batteries for like mobility devices, wheelchairs, and so forth. They were about 80, 90 bucks each. Yeah, but they are paralleled, so you know the car's been running fine with these. Hopefully these will give a better life expectancy than a starting battery. You know, you can drain these deeper, cycle them much deeper, use them for charging other stuff, running your electronics, your accessories in the car without worrying about you know, killing the life of your starting battery, which you're not supposed to discharge too deeply. Some of the other stuff, I've been running about a month with these. It's been working fine. Obviously these are not properly tied down. Do not do this. Some of the other stuff going on here, we have also an effort to take stress and strain off of the DC to DC converter. There's a DC to DC converter that takes the 270 nominal volt, pack voltage, steps it down to 12 volt to charge your 12 volt battery, which is now here, in an effort to take energy off of that, because that ultimately comes from gasoline, and that energy conversion going from gasoline to 270 volts to 12 volts, that's a lot of loss that I don't want to put, into the climate. So here we have some 36 volt lithium ion packs. I have two small ones meant for hoverboards. Supposedly these are semi-safe, so I'm using these carefully, but yeah, these are supposedly safe. They have a protection circuit. I also have it fused. And those two parallel lithium ion packs are feeding into a Victron Energy DC to DC, which has an adjustable output all the way up to 15 volts. So I have that cranked up right now. So that is feeding power into the vehicle's 12 volt system. Right now it is pushing 8.4 amps roughly. The system voltage now, or actually that voltage is that 13.5. That's probably it's a little higher. That's what that device is pushing in. And then also we have a trunk mounted solar panel from Battery Tender. Battery Tender makes a solar option here. It typically comes with this little device which maintains your battery at around 13.5 volts, which is where lead acid likes to stay. But that's not quite enough to push against the 14.2 volts that the DC to DC converter tries to push out. So in order to actually get the solar panel to do anything, you need to take out that little this little limiting Battery Tender device, and I have solar panel coming right off the panel directly into the system, twofered into the system, into here. Again, be careful doing this. This is not recommended unless you know what you're doing. Here is basically what's going into the vehicle. This is the stock connections that came off of the stock battery, are E-taped and secured inside the cardboard box just to prevent short circuiting. And yeah, so there's your positive connection into the car is in there. There's your negative ground. So we're coming off the solar panel, and we are pushing. It averages around 1 amp. I have a piece of plexiglass over the solar panel just as a protective means. So it's probably not getting as much power as it could, but it averages about around 1 amp. Yeah. So pushing around that. And then right now the car is in two press. I pressed the that on-off button twice, so we're in a 2-press mode. So right now at the dash we're showing around 12.5 volts, which is fine for now. Lead acid really likes to stay above 13 volts. Ideally, for long term, you want it to stay above 13 volts, which is what the battery tender does. So if your car is sitting overnight or for long periods of time under 13 volts, it's gonna age faster. But you know, it is what it is. Here are some of the numbers I have measured. These are numbers that the car is actually pulling power from whatever battery you have hooked into the system. These are rough numbers of what the car is pulling under given circumstances. Yeah, you know, if you press that on button once, you have a 1 to 5 amp draw that the car is pulling from the 12 volt. I'm sorry, let's see, one push around 366 amps. 2 press, which is like it's not in the ready mode, but it's like whatever the next step up is, 12 amps. Oh yeah, for some reason I was measuring a higher amp draw with the 2 press compared to, you know, when you press the on with your foot on the brake, you know, actually in the ready mode. The ready mode was a lower number for some reason. And then, you know, a few different things, you know, added some numbers on, you know, adding various, you know, accessories, headlights, windows, power seats, heated seats. Yeah. The highest amp draw I ever measured was around, I believe, 70, did I write that, Sarah? 70 amps, 75 amps was the maximum I ever measured. That may have been on startup, initial powering up of all the systems. Average driving amperage I ever really saw was around 33 amps, I think, is what I saw, just as a maximum for average driving. You know, not pushing windows up or down, not doing heated seats. Yeah, so around 30 amp draw, just add normal driving, and maximum of only around 75 amps ever, as far as I'm aware, in this car, which means you can get away with a thicker plate deep cycle battery. You do not need the thin plate high cranking amperage of a traditional starter battery. That's Hyundai just, I think, saving money. It's the battery that they had a million of in stock. It's the battery that they have in other vehicles, and they just wanted to make it easy for anybody to replace it. You know, if you break down the side of the road, great, you can find that exact starter battery, no problem. But really, a hybrid vehicle which does not need a cranking battery is better suited with deep cycle. And this is a deep cycle AGM, and we're gonna keep playing. All right, have a good one.